One of the topics that I really enjoy working with clients on is how to utilize volunteers. Volunteers want typically to give what is their most precious commodity, which is their time. The key is they want to be used and deployed in significant ways. And if there's a mistake that we see, and it's the classic one, it's that when we bring volunteers together, we share updates with them, we provide material, presentations regarding programs that are happening at the institution, data around fundraising progress and the like. But essentially, we're just talking at them. When I see the best programs utilize volunteers, they give them meaningful work to do really in two domains. One is to sincerely utilize their intellectual capacity. These are very bright people, they're highly accomplished for a reason. They want to offer their thoughts and insights, and they often do. They provide that third party perspective, particularly within higher ed. We can often be within the academy, our own echo chamber to a degree. Getting legitimate thoughtful perspective from outside partners can be really, really valuable. So, really leaning in and being prepared to listen to what they have to say. We were just working with a client recently where we put a set of new fundraising initiatives in front of them. And the feedback was somewhat difficult, but really, really valuable. In essence, they were suggesting that we needed to really rethink not just the what of these initiatives, but even the nomenclature around it, the wording of it, because they found it confusing. They felt like it overlapped with other similar initiatives with similar titles they had heard previously. So their feedback in that moment was critical. And the institution right now is wrestling with what to do with that. But it was key because if they had that reaction, we know other donors are going to have that reaction. The other way that we can utilize volunteers really, really well is to give them something tangible to work on. Some of the classic elements that we work on are with prospecting in terms of identifying new potential donors, reviewing lists of donors that our research has suggested may have capacity and inclination. And then, really, that third and final step of actually utilizing them to reach out to those individuals. Could they be a broker to open a door, to set up a meeting, to ask them to take a meeting with the president or a gift officer? Using them in that specific way tends to really be valuable. They might be a little nervous when they get started, but it usually ends up being very fruitful in the end. One of the things that I think is key in working with volunteers is to set it up operationally in a way that is achievable and set up for success from the beginning. And what I mean by that is to define the expectations quantitatively in reasonable terms. And something that I'll often tell people, if you have a board member or a campaign committee member who legitimately opens two significant doors for you and helps you gain entry to and start a conversation with two potential legitimate major or principal donors, that is tremendous success. So we're not talking about 30 or 40 names here. If they can help you with two, that often helps calm the donor's expectation about what is being asked of them. But it also creates something that's more manageable for the team. Because when you do the math with the board and you have 10 or 20 or 30 people, think about that just in the instance I'm using of having two per each one. You're immediately approaching 50 to 100 new prospects. That's a lot to manage. So setting it up from the beginning in a way that is manageable for the staff and feels comfortable for the volunteers.